Christensen. I'm a board certified music therapist, also state certified music therapist.
Where you sleep out every night and the only line is right back in the saddle.
So music is processed everywhere in the brain, and it makes music a great tool for people with dementia, because even though parts of their brain have been damaged by the dementia, there are still other parts of the brain that are in working order, and whatever aspects of music that are being processed in the undamaged areas, people can process that and they can participate in music in that way. There's even a part of the brain that's in charge of our memories that we associate to different music and our emotions that we associate to particular songs. And that part of the brain is one of the last parts of the brain to be affected by the disease. So as music therapists, this becomes a really great tool. We can go in and play songs that people love, and it will trigger those positive emotions, and that's still in working order. So those emotions will still come up, and those positive memories will still come up. The same is true, though, if there are negative memories associated to the music. And I had heard about this, but I had never seen it until one day when I met with one of my patients who had dementia. And we were doing some work with some different songs, and for some reason, one of the songs that we were singing triggered a really negative emotional response. Come to find out later, she had 2 brothers who were killed in World War II, and something about the song triggered that memory of that loss, and it was almost as if she had just heard the news about her brother's deaths, and she began hyperventilating, and she stood up and began walking around the room and crying and wailing, and she was really, really upset because that song had triggered that emotion. And luckily, I was trained as a therapist, and so I knew what to do. I used something called the ISO principle, which is a way that we help move patients from one emotional state to another by using rhythm and tempo that matches a person where they are, and then changing the tempo over time to take them to a new emotional place. So I joined with her rhythmically as she paced around the room. I walked around with her and kind of set a tempo at that rhythm and slowly took her down by decreasing the tempo that we were moving to. And eventually we were able to get her moved back into her bed where she could lay down, and she finally fell asleep. But it was a very powerful example to me that music actually can be dangerous, and that it's really important to have training to know how to deal with those negative emotions when they're triggered by music that people associate with difficult times in their lives.
Back in the saddle.